get started. Alright. Alright, well, let's get started. Okay. I'm referencing, I don't know, a painting from Ryan Minority for this picture. I feel like I should go for more stuff like, if I'm going for something more retro, then I should definitely go for stuff like this. Okay. Okay. Well, speaking of, you know what? Speaking of Ryan Meinerding, okay, there has been news, and you know what? Maybe I wanna, maybe I could like bounce this off of possibly Miguel, which, you know, this could, you know, nah, damn it, no, that is so stupid. You know what? Layer, create clipping mask. No, okay, so I get to see this. I should probably get someone to talk about this with, because this is like, I feel like this isn't something I should basically be talking about by myself, you know. But apparently, Disney Studios laid off almost the entirety of Marvel Studios' visual development team, and that is insane. Apparently, they're doing this to streamline the company. But, it's like we all know why you're doing this. You're doing this, because of AI. And honestly, of course I have faith that it's not exactly faith. Maybe it's like, more like this AI bubble will pop. But then again, I feel like, I don't know. Like, whenever mass layoffs happen, I feel like companies, for the most part, like when they say that they're doing this because, like, for like say, because for the sake of like streamlining the company, they're essentially doing it to essentially. I say essentially a lot. I want to sound smart, harder than I really am. I don't know why I do that, but yeah, no, they're doing this to manipulate the stock price of the company. They're doing this because essentially they have a hope that AI will manage to kind of like be as effective as an entire team of professionals who have not only honed and essentially kind of just, you know, mastered their craft. Not mastered, but like essentially just like, they've honed and they've gotten to a specific level in their craft. And they have managed to create something like, to collaborate and create something really, really, impactful and like amazing. And, they've essentially kind of built, Marvel Studios. And they're essentially laying off these people while company profits are at record highs. They're doing this to essentially manipulate their stock price, entice venture capitalists, and appease shareholders. And quite frankly, I could go on and on and on about how detrimental AI is for the environment. I could go on and on about how AI art isn't exactly real art. And I could go on to how basically it'll just regurgitate your brand and content, right back at you. Basically, essentially like the slumpification of essentially storytelling. But, this is something that we all kind of know deep down. And this is just capitalism. And back when I was a college guy, back when I was like I think 17, 18, I was not indoctrinated. I fell into a rabbit hole of just conservative, like influencers like Steven Crowder, who talked about how socialism was wrong. And it's like maybe it was the charisma, maybe it was essentially, the fact that they were Christian too, and I don't know, in some weird kind of tribalistic way, their existence or their belief, so-called belief in God, validated me because I was going through a crisis of faith and I was very isolated. But essentially, I believed them. And they said that, it's like capitalism, it's like in a free market, capitalism innovates. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. And quite frankly, this isn't new, especially in like especially in our country, in our government, because essentially, I think going back to before the 1920s, our government and the stock market has essentially been intertwined for the longest time. Matter of fact, whenever reporters would confront the president, and not just any president. You know, it could be Trump, it could be Biden about the economy. Basically, he would say, they would both say that, like, you know, we're fine, you know, and they would talk about the stock market as if the stock market were the actual consumer economy. My drawing looks good and it's a great message. You know, yeah, thank you. You know, I'm gonna put these two in here. Gonna put some final touches, and then, you know, post it. And who knows? Maybe, you know, good things will happen. Maybe bad things will happen. But right now, I feel like people say it's like, whoa, it's a scary time to be an artist. I feel like it's a scary time to be an American. Quite frankly, like, I don't know, my patriotism or my faith in this country, thank you, my faith in this country has been at an all-time low, especially with, you know, how we elected this, you know, this very contemptible person twice, and with everything that's been happening, and the fact that they have defunded SNAP benefits, they have defunded the Department of Education, but he has put so much money in, say, ICE facility, the construction of ICE facilities, and the, you know, and the creation of AI data centers that essentially consume water and just are very destructive towards the environment. It's just, I just, as a country, I can't help but feel that you know, of course, like, the American dream was a lie. That George Carlin, when his set during the 90s, exactly, it's as if almost all the world keeps getting worse, and the people in power who could change this do not change it at all. And I believe they're kind of like incentivized to not change it. I feel like, back to my point about the stock market, basically, these companies, they have had lobbyists that have both worked for these massive corporations, and they have also, you know, worked in the government. And essentially, our government, our federal government, you know, has nothing, can't exactly make any meaningful change. Especially with the lobbyists that, you know, that are in place, that are working for corporate interests. You know, we can't have free healthcare because essentially there's always going to be a corporate lobbyist that is going to essentially kind of, like, you know, just schmooze his way into getting a major politician to vote against any policy that could be good for socialized healthcare. And essentially, you know, while and when things get worse and worse, as an immigrant, uh, it's disgusting to see, but we always have to be the scapegoats. Yeah, yeah. It shouldn't be a, you know, it shouldn't be a privilege, it's a right. Exactly. You know? And at this point, you know, I look at the Democratic liberal leaders, and I'm not a socialist, but I could see why people of my generation have essentially been gravitating towards socialist leaders, because, you know, it's like the Democratic leaders that we have in place are just very ineffective, and, you know, people in my generation feel like they've just been lied to, or like they feel like their future has just been sold because of just for the benefit of the people that preceded us. Not to mention, they're so adamant on us keeping the system alive. It's like, oh, have more kids, have more kids. And it's like, well, what do you expect? We're not going to do that. We're not going to have more kids. Also, like, I'd like to have more kids. I'd like to have a family. I'd like to meet someone and get married. But at the same time, one, it's like, the DOE, the people in the DOE, like the DOE is very underfunded, and people within that system, they're either like they are basically overworked, underpaid, you know, and they essentially have to deal with kids with behavioral issues that the parents can't hash out because they're so stressed out about making ends meet that they can't. And so it's almost as if we're in this situation where we, the DOE workers, are kind of like, like they like we're expected to kind of like parent their kids for them, and that's not exactly what the DOE is about. We're not this government, like, we're not this, like, we're not this place where we could just, like, you could just outsource the raising of your children. I mean, like, a lot of the kids, not a lot, but some of the kids that I've worked with, it's like they have, not only do they have, like, serious behavioral problems, but some of them just, like, they just don't come to school at all. And that's just concerning, because essentially it's like, if a kid doesn't show up to school a certain amount of days, then, like, people in law enforcement, like child care, like, they have to get involved. Not to mention, it's like, I feel like a lot of people, it's like, maybe it's modern medicine, maybe it's like modern medicine, but I think it's like, for a long time, essentially, like, having a kid with somebody, or like the way, like, women, especially like women of color, who more and more, like, who are like who are major occupants of the American country. It's like they're not exactly treated by the medical system that well. Not to mention, giving birth to somebody, that is a strenuous process, that is painful, that one can lead to major physical harm that often requires reconstructive surgery. Two, what else can lead to, say, like, that is historically have often, like, essentially, like, just killed the mom. And three, it's like postpartum depression's a thing, parental leave, like, asking for parental leave was like a big issue. And now it's like, it's like, it's what the hell? You want us to, essentially kind of just like have more kids, but it's like, we're living in a world where it's like, where consumer prices have gotten so high that it's almost untenable. And not to mention, like, a lot, like, I don't know, they tend to kind of like they kind of gloss over. It's like, hey, a lot of people who are having kids are under the poverty line because essentially it's like, because of, lack of funding in education, but at the same time they're probably counting on that because they want the system to go on. They don't really care about the people within it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And they think, hey, they can here's a $2,000 per. I feel like Trump wanted to give people money. Okay, so basically, uh, okay, so give me a second. So basically, he wants to give around like $5,000 as incentives for essentially new moms, and at this point, I don't. It's like it's just that's not a good incentive. $5,000 barely cuts it for essentially childcare expenses, like home expenses. It's just it's 5,000. Like it takes. I'm not. I'm not a parent or like like a math whiz when it comes to money, but I'm willing to bet that it takes more than 5,000 annually to raise a kid. Like you can't just yeah, it implies a lot more things, and I don't know. It's just things just get worse. Things just get worse. I don't know. I feel like yeah, yeah. He does give hate speech. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he give hate speeches? He's Republican. Acidic trauma. Hello, how's it going? Hello, hello. Man, I'm just. You just came in on me talking about the massive layoff that just hit Marvel Studios and the American government and just capitalism. I was talking about that. I got state tested tomorrow and today was shitty. I'm sorry about that. Uh, I heard that you can opt out, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe it's different in your state. I mean, I feel like one thing you could possibly do is like, I don't know, think study up. Like hit the books. Hit the books, you know what I'm saying? Hit the books, you know what I'm saying? And take some like if it's multiple choice, take some take some tests, taking strategy, you know? Sometimes process of elimination. If you see an answer that definitely like if you see a choice that definitely isn't the answer, ew, cross that out. You know, cross that joint out. If you see another question that definitely isn't the answer, cross that joint out. And then they have like, hey, two questions that aren't crossed out. There's like a 50-50 chance that you know a 50-50 chance that you might get the right answer. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That's just my time with that is over. I'm not a kid no more. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a grown man. And yet I'm spending my time. Grown ass man spending his time on the internet and talking to 13-year-olds. Men used to go to war. Yeah. And men used to also give that, that front hand, backhand combo when they walked in, when they came home from work and saw that you ain't set the table yet with food. But yeah, no, yeah, no, it's things are uncertain. Obviously, I'm not gonna give up. I think I'm in a decently okay position. I guess I have a job. I might not want to have this job, but shit, a source of income is better than no source of income. So what can I do? But yeah, I'm obviously not gonna give up. I'm not giving up. Ask on both? Oh, okay. So essentially, okay. So when you're writing a test, now when you're writing an essay, just know you have just know that you have multiple parts of the essay, right? You got, look at this. You got the introduction. Introduction, right? You got the arguments. And then the conclusion. So, in the test, I assume they're going to ask you a specific question. And then, of course, you're going to have to basically make an introduction. Like, say, this is where you kind of like introduce the subject you're talking about. And towards the end of this paragraph, you make a claim or an answer. And then, of course, I assume before the essay they give you a passage, you kind of have arguments. And basically, you give evidence or basically quotes from the texts as to why your claim is correct. And the conclusion is basically you restating the evidence and then restating your claim, but in a specific way where it's like, hey, because of this, this, that, and this, that's why my claim is right. I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to do this in like more eloquent essay terms, but yeah. So this episode was sponsored by Khan Academy. Yeah, Khan Academy. You'd rather be watching YouTube videos, but you have a test tomorrow. So Khan Academy. All right, but in all seriousness, all right. If you should know that what you're doing, then you should be completely fine. You got this, little. Oh, you got this. Alright, this is my attempt at a Puerto Rican tweaker from the 80s. Anyway, but yeah, no, anyways, back to the doom and gloom hour. Alright, so it has come to my attention that I'm slowly starting to believe that America as a country is nothing more than a twisted pyramid scheme. Now, of course, back in the day, maybe things, were more equitable, but at the same time, it's like the roaring 50s, not equitable per se, because it's like, yeah, back in like the baby boom era, you could like afford a house or home for like 3 grapes, and like $500 and a decent conversation. But now over time, Maybe it's because of no overtime. Maybe it's because of you know free market capitalism and our strict, almost religious adherence to it. But it's it's getting to a point where working class people or the middle class people, they can't exist anymore. They can't work anymore. They can't forge careers anymore. They can't get jobs anymore. And it's just, it's just getting worse and worse. And granted, of course you got Mamdani, and he's cool. But I feel like there should be like there should be a major like change to this. There should be major regulations on these corporations. I feel like, quite frankly, a lot of these CEOs should be held accountable. And quite frankly, quite a few of the HR people, head of HR, should be held accountable for their very corrupt hiring practices and employment practices. Because this is what this is. This is just corruption. Straight corruption, as I can see it. But, maybe. Maybe it's like a problem worldwide, but hey, at least other countries have affordable health care and more robust social safety net programs. We don't. I mean, it still sucks if it's happening almost worldwide, but, it's like, if I can't, like, if I not only can't get employment, and finding a job is just gonna cost me an arm and like a medical emergency is gonna cost me an arm and a leg. Like how do you expect, it's like, that's hard mode. People would stop it if they lose money. If they do okay, that's not exactly like, first off, they're government officials. They're getting paid enough. They shouldn't be serving these corporations. They should be serving the people. They shouldn't be serving lobbyists and shareholders. They should be serving us. But I feel like that it's just it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jesus, I feel like I'm messing up the and the worst part is this war. it's, I don't know if, hopefully there's not a draft, but if there is, you know, quite a few of my friends are gonna be are gonna have I might have to go to Iran to fight and die for Israel, and shit, if I might, if they can basically change the age of conscription and or enlistment, you know, what's to stop me from going there? It's it's just, yeah. And I love my grandma, but it's like she was the first of us to immigrate here, and it's like, god damn, man. It's like, god damn, grandma. It's like you couldn't pick a, like, I love you, te amo, pero like you couldn't pick a country with free healthcare. You had to pick this shithole, man. You sacrificed everything for this dump. You know what? And the worst part is that it's like, you know, back when I was a kid, they played the Grand National Anthem in like high school. I didn't stand up. And honestly, next time they do it, I'm not standing up either. No. I'm. I just. You know. At a party, I recently saw a person, a vet. A vet. It was a person of color, by the way. And it was going on about, like, it's like, hey, I love my country. It's like, yeah, but does your country love you, bro? Does your country love you? The people that you're serving do not have your best interests at heart. They will literally step over your corpse, as if you were nothing, as long as it meant getting what they want. They don't care about you. Never have, never will. They have no empathy. They have no soul. They exist simply to appease shareholders and fatten their own pockets. That is all. I'm not a socialist, but I can see why. I can see why socialist thought is getting more popular in America. I can see why warehouses are being burned down. I can see why that insurance CEO got shot. I don't know. There's only so many times, so many like years until this gets out of hand. I don't really think this is sustainable. Like, America as a country, I don't think we're sustainable. We lost our, we've lost our soft power. Every other country thinks we're a mess. Fair enough. But wait, no, it's like, isn't the culture? Isn't the culture of the people? Culture comes from, like, the word cult. Cult, community. And granted, cult is like a, when people say cult, they think they think of, like, these like religious cults that mostly surrounded, you know, around one dude, and like this dude is obviously exploiting the people around him, like, you know, sexually or like, you know, like monetarily. But you know, it's like culture. You know, cult was basically like, you know, cult classic, or like, give me a second. Cult definition. Okay, so basically, okay, a person or thing that is popular or fashionable amongst a particular group or section of society. So, you know, culture is mostly centers around people. You're gonna have to, you know, but that's, no, that's just me. That's just me. I'm not smart. I'm just an artist. I'm just the guy who paints Superman. Couple editions too. I'm just a guy who plays Superman. And you know, not to mention, I think it's like, I feel like ever since like our president has literally, like, you know, just posted this AI photo of him being Jesus. It's like, yep, nope, we've jumped the shark as a country. It's like he got into a fight on Truth Social or like on Twitter with with the Vatican, with the Pope, and it's like, granted, American evangel like, you know, I feel like we've, as America has already done damage to Christianity. You know, of course, like with like evangelic evangelism, American evangelism, that was pretty bad. I feel like American evangelism itself betrays the teachings of Christ. But yeah, it's like, damn, my expectations were low, but you know, Jesus, yes, that's disrespectful to Jesus and believers. You know, like myself, you know, I was raised, you know, Catholic. You know, I come from a Dominican Catholic family. Granted, you know, I haven't been to church in a while. In that fashion, I'm a terrible Catholic, but I still very much identify with Christ and His teachings. Granted, I should be giving more to people, because you know, it's like sometimes when I see actually most of the time when I see a homeless person, I just, you know, it's like I walk past them, mostly because I don't have any paper money, but maybe it's like, you know, it's like maybe I should just stop by at Chase and just give them $5 so they can eat something, you know? Don't be a selfish prick. Come on. That's what Christ would do. But yeah, no, it's just, you know, it's just it's like we become the laughing stock. America as a country, we lost our soft power, and we've essentially kind of cemented ourselves as the laughing stocks of the world. You know? And it's just the fact that this guy managed to get into office for the second time. Like like when I was in high school, like people wouldn't shut up about this guy. Now he's going to just haunt the rest of my 20s, and that sucks. That really sucks. But hey, you know, we don't give up. We keep painting. And who knows? Maybe you know, I'll paint to, I don't know, I'll paint some Space Marines or something. I don't know. I don't know. Some people get away with things they shouldn't. Yeah, that happens all the time. They're psychos. They have no empathy. How do you think they manage to get in these positions of power? Positions of power. They step on people. They do things that morale, like they don't exactly concern themselves with ethics or morality. They don't really care about that. They just want money. Money's power. Money's motion. But enough about me, being a doomer. I think I've made some progress on the background of the Superman painting. Maybe I should. I don't know. I'm not sure what I should do with the background behind like the characters, behind the racists, the racists. But I'll figure out something, I guess. Yeah, but no, it's yeah, no, but corporations, man. Hey, hey, maybe maybe the Disney warehouse will get burned down. Nah, nah, that was terrible. That was some garbage. That was some garbage, hot garbage. Who let me cook? Okay, so I think the week's almost done. Maybe I could fix up some posts. Man, I want to post more on Instagram because that's where the opportunities are, but I don't know. It's like I'm juggling so much stuff. That's a cool background. Lol. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh my, oh my, oh my. By the way, hold on. Maxine, if you have Discord, you know, you could join in the Discord if you want. Though I will not lie to you, it is, it's pretty dead right now. It's obviously my fault. I should have been pouring more effort into it, but, you know, we have Discord if you want to join. So, you know. Do you want to animate, sell drawings or physical products? I want to be an illustrator and I want to make comic books. That is pretty certain. I would like, I mean, then again, you know, I'd like to work on an animation project. You know, hey, it'd be cool if I could work on Invincible, but, you know, they've already on their way, and they've already, like, made it to the Invincible War, so it's probably almost, like, pretty much halfway through the entire saga, so you will gladly support me? Thanks, man. Thank you. You are a gentle person and a scholar. Yeah, no, but, yeah. You know, my, I think one thing that when it comes to what you want to do is something that you always kind of go back towards. And one thing that I keep on going back to is like comic book art and paintings. I like both of them very much, and I'm not sure how I'm going to make a career doing two of those, but you know, I am more than determined. I'll do it because it's fun, and why not? Dave Raposa does it. Friend of the channel, Ryan Gutierrez does it, and another friend of the channel, Miguel Coronado, does it. So, you know, if they can do it, like, they're human beings. They have arguments with their spouses. You know, they pick their noses when they think they're alone. They fart. They have painful shits. So, you know, they're just like me for real. And if they can do it, I can do it. It's no problem. No problem at all. No problemo. You know? They are not gods. They are not perfect. The last person who was perfect got crucified 2,000 years ago. Was a Jewish carpenter who got crucified 2,000 years ago. So, you know. And I'm not even close to being that guy. Dude's a little son of God. So, you know, if he can do it, hey, old Jacob can do it. You know? Maybe this old New Yorker can put his hat in the ring. Just walking by, you know, in my Yankees hat, New York Yankees hat with my sketchbook. Hey, I'm drawing it. I walk into a bodega. Hey, this isn't like where I'm from. Where the fuck are the Middle Eastern guys? Where's the Middle Eastern music? Where's Boss? I want a bacon, egg, and cheese. I want rice over chicken with white sauce, a comical amount. I need the white sauce. You can achieve it. You're working hard. Thank you. Danke. Also, tomorrow, I don't think I'll be around for a stream tomorrow. Well, one, it's my sister's birthday tomorrow, and two, we're not getting back until 10, so, you know. Like, we're going straight to Connecticut on Thursday. Speaking of which, give me a second. I waved hi to you. All right. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna search up? Oh yeah. Okay. At AJ. All right. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I think things have been going all right. I haven't exactly had a fight with my mom in a couple days, you know. She hasn't given me any, you know, stuff over the dishes, so that's good. You know, you might have missed episodes of The Bear. Are they gonna start making episodes of The Bear again? I like it. I like it. It's very human. It's very human. You know what? I might have to, I think, maybe put this painting, right, like in a, as a Procreate file, I think. Like, why not? This is gonna be an Instagram post anyway. Fuck it. Also, maybe like a whip could be cool. Like, I need to show up with something. I need to show up with something, or the algorithm guys won't be happy. The algorithm. I must show up with a weekly sacrifice. I don't like the other. Maybe I could finish this. Nah, I got some other stuff waiting in the wings. All right. Ah. Massive layoffs at Marvel. Who else but dun 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 capitalism? That's right. That's right. We could make this culturally enriching this cool looking product that are made by thousands of talented people. But no, we're gonna keep on sucking off shareholders. We're gonna go up to these shareholders and we're gonna go wah 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 wah, and nothing's going to go wrong. The AI bubble won't pop. It won't be like 2008. No. This time will be different. You know. By the way, if hold on, Max. How old are you? Do you know who I am? Oh, easy, Lil Toe, I think. I assume you're Little Toe because Little Toe, I don't know, her motif is feet, right? And she always does stuff with feet. Also, whenever like any of us would post anything in the Discord, she would like put in an emoji of a pregnant guy. I don't know why. But yeah, I think I have an idea. But if I'm wrong, you have full full permission to roast me in the comments or the chat. Uh, who would who would even do that? I don't know. Apparently, yeah. I think this person. Yep, yep. Big Toe, I know it's you. Come on, come on. Next thing you know, you're gonna pop up on Discord with a drawing of, I don't know, me being a kitty maid or something. By the way, why is that so popular? Why are people doing that? It's like, oh look, it's this person who I've been following on who I've been following on on YouTube or Instagram. Let me draw him in a kitty maid outfit now. I never had that happen before. I mean, I'd you know, I'd say it's I'd say it's emasculating if it wasn't weird. Weirdly. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's fan art. It's, I guess, if someone shows their appreciation to me by drawing me in like a cat maid outfit, going ooh woo, then okay, we ball, I guess. We ball. It's just weird. It's just weird. But hey, it's welcome. I'm weird too. Matter of fact, the only reason why, like, I'm this is like the only time where it's acceptable that where I could talk to myself, dude. I feel like when I get married or I find a spouse, and I manage and I'm like, and I find a wife, and she walks in on me, talking to myself, she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I married a weirdo," and she's right. She did. She did. You married a weirdo. I'm a strange man. A very strange man. A strange, very strange man. What you gonna do, huh? Divorce me? Good luck on the dating market out there, sweetie. Nah, you're stuck with me forever. You think you could find another dude who could do dishes? No, you can't. You're stuck. You're trapped. Who are you talking about? Who's Big Toe? I don't know. She is a unemployed Filipino person who just she's actually a pretty good artist, but she keeps on like putting in pictures of feet, and she keeps on drawing me in like a cat maid outfit, and won't stop. You know, what are you gonna do? Leave? Huh? Oh no, it's bad out there, sweetie. It's bad out there. Yeah, good luck with your dating apps. You got nowhere to go. You got nowhere to go. And now you're stuck with me. Who else is going to listen to you mindlessly drone about British Bake Off? If anything, all I do is I just sketch on my iPad and I go, uh huh. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. She did that? Wow. It's the same routine I put on when I listen to you talk about people you hate at work. Wow, she did that? Wow. What a bitch. Enough about me being a dick. Alright, I think I kind of rendered the absolute crapola out of that guy's face. You can really see the hatred just spewing from his mouth. Hmm. Are you asking me to be drawn in a maid outfit? No. I'm just saying this is something that happened. Who wants to be drawn in a maid outfit, dude? Okay, I think I have a half an hour left. Then I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. Woe is me. Another day. Another day, another dollar. Alright, yeah, no, I'm not asking to be drawn into maid outfit. Please don't do that. Yeah, no, but basically I'm gonna visit my sister tomorrow, you know, in Connecticut. She is going for her master's in public health, you know, and you know, I'm you know, I'm proud. I guess I'm proud of my sister. She's doing some legitimately impressive things. Meanwhile, I'm just, you know, I'm just the comic book guy of the family. She's like, talk about, it's like, hey, policy, stuff like this, that, and this. Females reproductive women rights. And I'm in the background like, hey, Batman used a gun in the first 20 issues of, first 30 issues of Detective Comics. You know? Not anybody knows that. I started collecting Berserk. I like it. Want to see my portfolio? It's really good. That's me. I don't like AI. AI is lame. I would have called AI gay, but my sister told me it's not nice to say, so I stopped saying it. Ah, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that sucks, dude. BB! 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 BB's in the building. BB's in the building, you heard? Broken Blade, how's it going? How's it going? You know, I'm doing alright. I'm working on the Superman painting. Matter of fact, let me see. Doing alright. I'm thinking of picking up driving lessons later on. I think later on in the week. Get back on the horse after failing. You know. Get back on that horse after failing. After failing hard. I failed so hard. And then the the bravest little girl of them all. The bravest little girl. The true hero of the story. Here you go. Alright. Oh yeah, I hope your father finds new employment soon. It's gonna be a rough road though. Alright, this is what it looks like so far. It looks... Damn. I don't like the teeth. I'm gonna have to fix that. Hold up. Maybe I have an idea. Okay, so basically, I was a dick. No, you're not. Like I said, crazy. Hmm. I think this is looking a bit better. Hmm. Okay, so chat. W painting chat. What do you think, chat? I'm 27. Oh no, I'm not 27. Why do I? Why do people call? It's like, why do I think I'm 27? I'm 26. I'm 26. My year coincides with my age coincides with the year. But how the fuck? No. You know. W painting chat. What do you think, chat? W's in the chat, guys. Yeah. W's in the chat. W painting up. See? Big Toe. Big Toe also calls me Unk. She makes fun out of my age. And it's not funny, okay? Please stop. Um, Stop calling me Unk, okay? I'm gonna cry. Um, yeah, that is Big Toe. That will net that. I'd be more surprised if it wasn't Big Toe, honestly. Looks like you reincarnated it, Big Toe. What new corporeal form have you taken this time? What new hellish demonic form have you come in this time? Also looking forward to see this finish? Yeah, me too. So I can finally focus on something else. Like fucking like this guy. I gotta finish this guy. I gotta do more. Oh my god. Oh my god. Also, I have to finish this sketch. This was supposed to be a sketch. This was supposed to be a sketch. But this apparently took on like a whole new form. Maybe this could be also a Procreate file. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing I thought. Big toe. Big toe. Big toe. All right, how do I okay. If you're not big toe, then what is something that we can rage bait her about? You know what? Okay, how about this? Filipino food isn't that good. Jollibee is overrated. I mean, obviously you're not big toe because big toe is Filipino, and she would be very offended by this statement. You know, Jollibee, it's like it's like the Arby's of the Asian fast food chains. You know what I'm saying? It's not that good, guys. Not that good. What do you think about that, Igori U60? I mean, obviously, I disagree with this statement, but hey, if it gets her mad, I'm going in. We're going in, boys. Yeah, Jollibee. Well, I know it's like a Asian Arby's to me. It's not it's not that good, guys. I would expect. Do you realize that Filipinos is the most chronically online Asian? Hey, they could boo me all they want, but hey, I'm I'm still right. You know what I'm saying? Jollibees, more like golly geez, this food chain is so overrated. Yeah, and you know what? You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb. I think Filipino music is not that great. You know what I'm saying? People say like, "Oh my God, Filipinos are so talented, and there's such great singers." And it's like, you sure about that, dog? You sure about that? Bruno Mars? Psh, more like Bruno Scars, because you know. Yeah, no, this is terrible rage baiting. I've never rage baited a person before. Yeah, no. I've never tried Jollibees, but I assume it's pretty good. And Bruno Mars is a really good singer, so you know. Disclaimer: I have no beef with Filipino culture, but I have no beef. I'm just trying to rage bait this troll in my comments, in my chat. You understand? I will not fold. Exactly. Boom. You did. You did fold. You did fold. You did fold. You folded. I know. I know that's you, Big Toe. Admit it. I know. I knew I was onto something when you told me that Filipinos were the most chronically online people ever. Yeah, because they're chronically online. Boom. Matter of fact, hold on. Am I not the king of this?
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. Somebody had to do it.
I'm the chosen one. Someone had to do it. Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. I can't claim anything. Somebody had to do it. I'm the chosen one. By the way, Big Toe, this is revenge for all the times you called me old. Okay, so it is 11:30. I gotta go. Yep, you can already hear the alarm. It says sleep, so I shall do that. I shall stop this stream and encase myself back in my tomb. And yeah, broke. Thank you for showing up, Broken Blade. Thank you, Big Toe. Thank you, Maxine, and thank you, Acidic Trauma. This is an ongoing project that I've been doing for, I think, the last part of March and I think the better part of April. It is almost done. Uh, it obviously needs more polishing and more work, but with more time, if I give myself a deadline, like how about this? I will finish this the 30th of March. By the 30th of March, this will look polished, portfolio ready, and this will be another good piece of the project. So, the last thing I will say is never give up, keep going. Do not let these massive tech layoffs or massive studio layoffs deter you from what you want to do. Keep making art, keep being creative, keep hating ICE, keep hating AI, and keep and keep living and keep doing what you can, because in these precarious times, doing what you can is the only thing you can do. Okay? Have a great night. Have a great night, Big Toe. Have the greatest of nights.